What's happening, guys? We are looking at Dark Fae today, and we're going to see how we can beat her. We are on floor 40 on normal. This is the free-to-play account. Let's see what my this is all of my best champions currently on my account. Let's see how we get on with Dark Fae with this, okay? So, easily taking down the waves here. Is it Daywalker? Reviving there. He has a self-revive, so we need to take him out again. We're on to the Dark Fae. Lickety-split. Just like that, absolutely no problem. And now here the trouble starts. Full squad still, we're getting wiped out. So what's happening? What exactly is happening here? We've taken one down, they're taking us down, we've no reviver, and we're gone. 37 seconds, start to finish. Right, so what is happening here? Well, the first mistake that the full auto comp would have made here is Alice is our AoE nuker. So when we go into Dark, it's kind of an arena fight where you're fighting your team, okay? The problem is that when you get to the boss, you have maybe used your stuff already on the previous wave. So you're coming into a full team with all of their cooldowns set and everything like that. However, you have used your skills, so you may not have your best skills on cooldown. So let's do that again and see what else we can use. Remember, they are the same stats, the same speed, the same everything. So we'll get Alice on there. We want to buff Alice, right? We want to debuff them, and we want a little bit of stay alive ability. You can put on Morag and Tagoar. Okay, so we have our buffs, we have healing, we have crowd control. Now we won't use the debuffs here yet, and we won't use the buffs here yet. We want to save for the last wave, right? We can use one here, so we'll use that one, because that refreshes when she gets a kill. So I still have that on cooldown. You'll see that now here. So we are manualing. We could put in a preset on this and just turn off the skills. So you'll see I still have that. I can't use it this time because this skill is on cooldown. So whatever AoE nuker, you can use it however you want as long as you're going in with that still on cooldown. So I'm going to use a tree here. That'll kill 2 enemies. And I'm going to work through the other tree bit by bit. Okay, so it does take a little bit longer, but it will get you to where you need to be with your buffs in place. Okay, now, so we have Madam Saristan, and Daywalker here is going to get murdered now in a second, and then will revive, and so we'll have to just kill him again. But this is kind of a slow and steady. There we go. So he was dead and he's back up. He also gets that retaliation thing when you kill him as well. So we're on to the boss, right? Everything's great. We've saved all of our best moves. We can buff up with increased speed here. So great, let's get that on. We have that on. We have the increased speed. His Tagoar went next. They're all the same speed as me, right? So you have to remember that. Okay, so let's get our decreased debuffs and decreased defense on. We'll buff up with our increased defense and attack, and then we can AoE nuke everybody, and that's everybody down. So we've done really well there. So that is all of the debuffs on and everything else. Now, why did that work out like that time? It was because the first buff we put on was increased speed. Now, that actually wasn't the best example of how to do that. So let's continue to fight, see how we do here. We have decreased defense on, but the boss has also stolen a load of ours. Actually, they haven't stolen it. It's from my team buffing the boss. They've put that on, the shadow copies. Now the boss has stolen Alice, so we could be in trouble here as well, because he takes, or she takes, your strongest nuker, okay? Champion with the highest attack. Also, the fears there have stopped me doing a whole load of stuff, so it actually put me in a bit of trouble. Now she's gotten 2 turns in a row there, and everything falls apart for me, so we have to be able to take Alice out now, or we're in trouble. And there we go, okay? So even though we were able to successfully wipe out the other team, when the boss then took Alice, we were completely wiped out. So let's go and have a look and see what we can do to stop that happening, okay? And guys, if you want to have a much easier time taking out the Dark Fae than I am, you could get your hands on Karato Fox Hunter just by clicking the link below. Why would Karato be good for Dark Fae? Well, on the A1, he has Weaken, so you can place that. That's great for all bosses, great for taking down the harder enemies. Weaken means enemies are going to take 25% more damage. Then we have a stun. So if we place stun on basically the enemy Karato Fox Hunter or the heaviest hitter or the speed booster, that means they're not going to be able to take their turn. They're not going to be able to start taking control of the fight. So you stun the key player on the opposite team in Dark Fae and you're going to have really good control. Not only that, he also brings more control in this skill here. So he has an AoE block active skills for 2 turns. That means if you place this out on the enemy team, which remember is a mirror of your team, they're not going to be able to use any of their skills. So if you place this on their Karato Fox Hunter, he's not going to be able to use this skill against you. He's not going to be able to use this skill against you and can only use the A1. Also applies to the entire rest of the team, guys. So hit that link below. You'll get Karato, Mausoleum Mage, Rector, Drath. You will also get 2 of my favorites that I show in this video as well in Uugo and Tagoar, guys. Click it, support the channel, and I will see you in the rest of the video, guys. Okay, so we've made a couple of crucial changes here, and we see that one of them is that Apothecary is now on my team and he is my fastest champ. So why is that? Apothecary has a 3-turn cooldown, increased speed and increased turn meter. Okay, so that's going to help me out a lot here. So we'll do that. We'll wait, take out the first wave AoE nuke. We'll carry on here. Oh, I didn't take out Madame Ceres. She escaped my rat. But we are moving along. We'll take out this wave piecemeal again. We'll take out him first this time. There he is, back again. And we just basically have to manually do this. My Kale probably needs a little bit of love, guys. Little bit of love needed there because he's just not doing the do at the moment. We'll take out these guys because they have full turn meters. We just don't want to give them a chance to take me out first. And we should be there or thereabouts now in a moment. Now it's good that we got some more turns with Apothecary as well. So now you see Apothecary goes first, right? So what Apothecary is going to do is give me increased speed. So all of my champions, even if it's just for a moment, will be going faster than the opposing team. So as it is now, if I do nothing and Apothecary goes, their Apothecary should go next because they're the same speed. You just get priority, okay? However, going to place increased speed, a 30% increased speed, so it's a big one, and fill the turn meter of all allies as well. So that's going to make a big difference to the turn order because all of a sudden now mine have 15% turn meter than the enemies and they have increased speed. So let's see how that goes. So you see their Apothecary should have gone, but my Alice is going now instead. So let's AoE nuke. Okay, and we've taken down everybody except Morag, Alice, and Rearguard Sergeant. And you see everybody's getting a go here. You see how good that is? And we take out Rearguard. Now the boss still has to take their turn, and they took Kale this time. Now do you see what happened there? Do you know why they took Kale? What did I say earlier? They always take the champion with the highest attack, okay? So I purposely put Rearguard Sergeant in that team, which I knew would survive the first hit. Their Rearguard Sergeant started out, they always prioritize debuffs generally, and they started out with the decreased attack. So it may have taken me a couple of turns to land because she doesn't have a 100% chance, but she placed decreased attack on Alice. So Alice now has less attack than the Kale. So Kale got taken, and that's what's happened there, okay? So now we only have to take out Kale, and Kale is a lot more squishy than Alice because Alice is a Lego. She has a big blessing, all the rest of that good stuff. But the important thing there is that our boost from Apothecary meant my whole team was going before all of their team, and I was able to take them out systematically. Now, the other thing to remember, and we'll see here now, is, there we go, we've done it. Even better than turn meter boost. And you have to have your speeds right, because there's no point in having a turn meter boost and a speed boost if the gap is too big on your team and their mirror copy of Europot still ends up going next because the rest of your team is too slow. So you have to have the speed range is tight enough that it is going to make a big difference for you. So we got a 4-star chicken and some rewards there. I wouldn't be able to do this full auto yet, so we have to fine tune that. If I had an AoE turn meter controller, or indeed a big single target turn meter controller, the likes of actually even Geomancer would be a really good one. Who else would be very, very good? Lysandra is exceptionally good. She'd open with her A3 and then use her A2 to control the boss, because you can turn meter control Dark Fae as well. So this is exceptionally good, but not full auto friendly. I would have to manual this to farm them, so I need to check my team, not my team, my filters here, to see who I have that could fill the role of turn meter control. So we're looking for things like decreased speed is one. So we have Prosecutor. Can you guys see that? Probably not. Just about over my shoulder there. We have Prosecutor, we have Haikatoon, and we have Ruella as our champion. So Ruella here is great for the decreased defense weaken and decreased speed, but that's more for the boss. Okay, then we have attacks one enemy 3 times. Each critical hit has an 80% chance of stealing 5% of the target's turn meter. So we have a little bit of turn meter control there on that. And then, but this here would actually be very effective for me. So if she was to go first, I could open up, or even actually what we could do, and that's how I'm going to full auto farm it, I think. What I'll do is I'll have Apothecary go first, turn meter boost everybody, her turn meter boost next. So then all of a sudden I'm like 40% more turn meter than everybody. I'm going to have a lot more turn. I'm going to have the increased crit rate on. Then I'm going to have my Alice go next, wipe out the enemy team, and I'm so far ahead of everybody else that if the mirror copy survives, the other guys are going to get to go, and I'm going to be able to wipe them out in turn. So that's likely what I'll do. I'll likely do it something like maybe something like that, but I have to build them out. Okay, so you have to have your speeds tuned, you have to have your accuracy, and you have to have turn meter control, either increasing it sufficiently on your side or decreasing it and controlling on their side. Now, what else can you do to stop the enemy team wiping you out? To stop your team wiping you out, the mirror copies? You can control them, okay? So if you have one of your first champions going and they're able to control the enemy team, you don't have anything to worry about, right? So what do we have for control? We have stun, I suppose, is the best one. Okay, so look at stun, and who do we have? We don't really have great options. We have Wukong, who only has it as a chance on the A1, which is not a multi-hitter skill, and we have Husk, who could be very good. The chance is very low of placing the stun on that move as well. Now, Husk will be getting built up and probably will be used anyway. He also has the provoke on the A1, but we don't really have that control there from him. We could use provoke, in which case we also have Seneschal. Seneschal could do it, and it is AoE, but he needs 5-6 books to be booked up to be able to do it at 100% chance AoE, okay? So that could be very good, and basically you go from there. You're looking for AoE control, turn meter boosting, turn meter control, speed boosting, speed decreasing, all of that, and basically you control, wipe out the enemy team. And then you have to remember that Fae is going to take one of your team, and you need to be able to take them out. Now, you've seen there how the decrease attack worked in my favor. It's very RNG heavy, guys. So what you can do instead is you can go in with a very strong HP nuker, and then when the boss takes out your attack nuker, you can then attack the attack nuker with your HP nuker and take it out. But the HP nuker has to be stronger. You have to be able to do that. Let's look at Alice's stats, okay? So Alice has, her attack is 4,612, which is weird because it shows higher on the optimizer. Maybe something else needs to be rolled up. So 4,612. So that's why she gets taken, and that's why with a 50% decrease attack, Kale was taken. So Kale was taken because half of Alice's stuff was gone. Half of her attack was gone. So Kale's 2,440 was higher than half of Alice's, okay? Because he wasn't debuffed. Now, what we could do is build Kale or any champion with really high attack and no other stats. And you're looking at me probably going, Dahi, you know, that sounds like a bad idea. That's a bit of a waste. It's a dummy target champ. Okay, so you build a champ completely uselessly just as a steal target for the Dark Fae. Okay, so let's see what attack champions do we have. We could just use Kale, for example. So if we built him with higher attack than Alice, he's going to be taken instead of Alice. So he's got the 2,440. She's got the 4,600 odd. If we build him with 4,700 attack and no other stats, we forget about crit rate, crit damage, accuracy, speed, make sure he has terrible defense and HP, and just give him everything in attack, he's not going to be able to do anything. And he's not, when he attacks you, all he has is attack. He doesn't have crit rate or crit damage. He's going to be really slow, so he's not going to get a chance to do anything. And your Alice is going to be able to take him out immediately. And that way you can retain control of your best fighter and take out the Dark Fae once you have him down. So it's good, it's really useful to set up a dummy attack champion for the Dark Fae to use as their steal target. So that's my top tips for Dark Fae, guys. That was me beating Dark Fae. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.